Hello, YouTube. Deacon Do here in beautiful Central Virginia. We had the day start in the mid 30s. We're up to the mid 40s. Nice, cool morning. Really quick, this video. So last video was about Charlie Kirk, and it was about how his murder impacted me. Basically gave me a voice, made me say enough's enough. I need to stand up and start speaking on what I need to speak on. I need to start sharing my opinion. I need to start standing on business. And that's kind of how I've worded it. And for those of you who, watch the stream and all that, know I am a deacon. I am a Christian. I'm a gun owner. I am pretty conservative in some of my views. I'm liberal in some of my other views. I would consider myself probably more libertarian than anything. Actually, I would consider myself right center. Anyways, regardless of that, this video is about the world racing community in Gran Turismo. And, this is a community I co-founded with MJ. We were exiled from another racing community, and we've made friends with that racing community after their toxic leader was basically removed. And I'm not going to get into all that. That's neither here nor there. But MJ and I and somebody else, we co-founded the world racing community. And to begin with, I was kind of more just, hey, I want to be a content creator. I want to be a driver. I don't want to get involved in leadership. I don't want to deal with the politics of it. And eventually, just because of the way things worked out with leadership, I was asked to, be on leadership. And I said, all right, sure. And MJ and I have always had a pretty good relationship. We don't align on a lot of things. A lot of our views don't line up. He is more left center. There are some things we do agree on, but there's things we don't. And after the death of Charlie Kirk, I chewed on it for a few days. And I finally told MJ, I said, look, the death of Charlie Kirk's really impacted me. I need to be more vocal about what I believe. And I'm not going to give you all the juicy details, but he and I had a conversation in DMs. And unfortunately, right there. Why you gotta tease me? Oh, kick the camera. He and I had a conversation in DMs, but then unfortunately, he took that conversation, and not all of it, but basically the gist of it was, I'm going to be more outspoken about my views. And he's like, well, as long as it doesn't come into the racing community. And I'm like, I can't promise it won't. If somebody's going to say something that I believe is fundamentally wrong or is against my opinion, my values, my morals, I'm going to say something. And so he went to the other two members of senior leadership. And I'm going to back up a step. I also told MJ I totally understand if what I was saying and where I was going, I needed to leave WRC, because I did not want what I say on social media to affect a community that I have helped build, a community that I love, and a community of a friend of mine who that's his passion, his love. I didn't want to tear that down. I did not want that to fall apart because of something I said on social media that somebody got butthurt over and wanted to start a crusade, and all of a sudden, WRC's in the middle of this controversy because somebody doesn't like a word I used. Whatever. And so he went to the other two leaders and they said, hey, look, you don't need to leave WRC, but you do need to step down in leadership. And I pretty much said that's not going to happen. If you all want me to leave leadership, I'm just leaving WRC. I'm not going to just leave leadership, step down from leadership and still be a part of the community and still possibly, bring wrath down upon the community because of something I said. Will you give me the ball? Stop teasing me. He's getting tired. We've been throwing the ball for a while. And so I left WRC. And the way I left things with MJ was very we'll see how things work out with our friendship. And all right, give it back. And it's kind of funny because some of the things we talked about kind of came to fruition, where we had a member of WRC who, if you follow me on Twitter, you will see it, all of a sudden left my Discord. All right, whatever, that's cool. I don't care, right? You leave my Discord, whatever. I kind of figured what was going on, but then on Twitter is like, during a thread, basically said, I still respect you regardless of all the BS you've been putting on social media. And I feel what I've been putting on social media is pretty tame. It's pretty, nothing extreme, I should say. And that's the exact reason why I left WRC, because I knew that there were snowflakes, that there were sensitive people within the Gran Turismo 7 community that were going to take something I said and then attack the world racing community. And there was a period of about a week or two where MJ and I did not talk a lot. I told him there was a little bit of trust broken because he did to me the same thing that had happened to me in the previous racing organization, where that one, I didn't even say anything. I just, by guilt by association, I got booted out because of something that was going on. MJ was starting a new community. They didn't like it. And because I, guilt by association, they booted me out. I never got a say in anything. The same thing kind of happened with the leadership in WRC, where, leadership as a whole decided, all right, well, he needs to step down from leadership without really even talking to me. MJ talked to me. And I'm not going to pick and choose my words with MJ. MJ knows me. He knows my heart. He knows how I feel. He knows that I'm not some extremist or racist or homophobe or any of this other crap, right? I do have my beliefs. I'm a Christian. I do have Christian beliefs. But he never gave me the opportunity to have a broader conversation with the other two members of leadership as well, to be like, this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. And so to be asked to step down without ever being able to talk to the other two members of leadership, I told him point blank that there's a trust issue there, that the trust I had in him was lost. And I removed him as moderator, YouTube, Twitch, my Discord, and I told him why. That I just did not trust him. And it was very, I don't want to say cold for a couple weeks, but it was awkward. There we go. It was awkward for a couple weeks. And MJ and I have gone back to our talking every day. Sorry if you see this, Chunky, and you believe the little white lie that MJ told you about not talking to me often. And yes, I do have receipts, Chunky. But regardless, and MJ's told me, look, if you want to come back and race with us, you're more than welcome to. MJ even at the time was like, you leave a huge hole in leadership because of what I did. And MJ and I have, stayed friends. There was a couple of weeks of awkwardness, but we've stayed friends, and we agree on some things and we disagree on other things. And I think MJ has now realized, and he's told me, and I'm going to share this, MJ, and I'm sorry if I do, if you don't really, didn't want me to share this, but he's told me that he kind of regretted how things went when I told him that I needed to be more vocal. I needed to share my opinion more. He's kind of sorry for how things went with leadership. He regrets how things went with leadership. I may race with them again someday. I don't hate anybody in WRC. There's a couple folks that I really don't want to deal with. But the whole point of this video is really to show how I could have communicated more effectively with MJ from the word go as to how Charlie Kirk's death impacted me, what I was going to do going forward, how I was going to be more vocal, be more honest, more open with how I feel about things, not be so politically correct as a streamer and try not to offend anybody, but as I say, stand on business. And I should have been more vocal with MJ, or more eloquent in my discussions with MJ to kind of really give him a better understanding. MJ admits he should have brought me in to have a broader conversation with leadership. And for those on leadership, I don't hate you guys for what happened. You guys made a decision based off of the information you were given. I just don't think it was the whole story. It's right here. It's right here. Come here. Come here. All right, come here. All right, sit. You're gonna have to use your nose to find it. All right, use your nose. Keep going. That's it. Use your nose. It's an exercise I do with him every once in a while, is to keep him. He's got to use his nose to actually go find his tennis ball based off a scent with all his slobber, and he'll find it in a few minutes. It's a good exercise for dogs. But going back to leadership with WRC, I don't hate you guys for how things worked out. You made a decision, good boy, based off the information you had. Good boy. And would I go back and race with WRC? Probably. I know I'm rambling on at this point because I'm being distracted by the guard dog. That's a good distraction. And MJ and I are on great terms. MJ and I talk just about every day. We talk things video game related. We talk things life related, American football related, NFL, college football. We don't talk WRC. Because A, I'm not a member of WRC anymore, and B, I don't think that there's any advice or anything I could give him that would help move WRC forward. I know that at the time we were kind of secretive about what happened with me leaving and why. And hopefully some members of WRC will watch this and go, okay, that makes sense, and understand a little bit more why I left. I left because I was asked to leave leadership or to step down from leadership, and I wasn't going to step down from leadership in a community that I had helped build after being a member of leadership for the better part of a year, and really helping set the direction of that community over the last year or so. And so I know it's probably going to hurt some feelings within WRC. I've reached out to some folks in WRC. I'm not going to share details, but to send prayers and stuff when life situations came up. And so I just want this to be a lesson to folks where, sometimes you need to not be so concerned about the public perception of things you say or do. You don't need to follow the crowd all the time, especially when it comes to morals. And that, so there are times where you have to learn to step away from something you built and something you loved in order to do what it is you believe God wants you to do. And for me, I think that's, share my faith, which WRC never had a problem with, to be clear, but also be more vocal on my views. And in order to protect something I helped build, I told MJ what was going on. The decision was made that I needed to step down from leadership, and I said, nope, I'm just going to step away, period. Who knows? Like I said, I might go back to racing with them at some point in the future. Right now, I'm not streaming, right? I haven't streamed consistently since July. That's a whole nother video. That might be the next video about Twitch. But I'm working on my pace, gaming with friends. That'll be another video, gaming with friends. Working, doing stuff around the house. I've had so many projects around the house that I've had to manage or perform. And I think it all happened for a reason. I think me saying something to MJ, which led to me leaving WRC as a whole, gave me time to focus on some more important things. You know, that's why I told MJ, I said, I think at the end of the day, WRC, as much as I loved it because I helped build it, I don't think WRC was that important to me. I wish the guys in the world racing community nothing but the best. I know that they have had a great relationship with Sir Racing, even with the drama in the past between Sir Racing and myself and MJ and how we got exiled from there. Again, like I said, I got exiled for guilt by association. It is what it is. But I wish those guys nothing but the best. And, you know, MJ and I are still great friends. We've been able to work through a difficult situation, a situation that could have ruined our friendship. And at the time, I was just like, we're going to see how it goes. I'm not convinced that, you know, because I did not trust him. I was not convinced that our friendship would be able to survive something like that. And I'm glad I was wrong on that. You know, I'm glad that he and I were able to remain adults about it, and we still talk just about every day. So I think my next video is going to be about Twitch and why I have not streamed on Twitch since July, and why I probably won't stream on Twitch for the foreseeable future. So until next time, guys, y'all take care of yourselves and each other, and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.